Good morning. Happy Thursday. Do you need a mortgage? Volunteer Home Mortgage is here for you 7 days a week. Whether you're in Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, or even beyond that, Jerry and her expert team are ready to help you out. So make sure you give them a call today, 865-238-7500, or you can visit them online at volunteerhomemortgage.com. All right. Good morning. Thanks for checking in with your morning weather update. It is an extremely stiff, stuffy, sticky, muggy, warm start to the day. We've got a lot to talk about. Grab your cup of coffee and strap in. We've got an area of low pressure that the National Hurricane Center has been talking about across the Gulf. Cold front to our north, but neither one of those are going to have a direct impact to us, but they will have an indirect impact because of a ridge of high pressure over Bermuda. We've got a lot of moisture being pumped into the area and some energy moving its way on in as well. Now, when we talk energy, most of it's going to be north of our area. So this is all mid-level energy and spin. This is what helps promote rising air. But it's clipping the Tennessee-Kentucky border. And because of that, and if you were with me yesterday, I said, hold on a second, the Storm Prediction Center may shift this a little bit further to the south, and they did. So along and north of Interstate 40, we have a level 1 risk for isolated strong to severe thunderstorms. That's where we have the greatest extent of storm energy, buoyancy. And so north of Interstate 40 is where we're going to have the greatest extent of that. That's our greatest area, or our area for the greatest threat for some isolated strong to severe thunderstorms. And with a water-loaded atmosphere, flooding and flash flooding is going to be a concern as well. So through noon, not a ton of activity, although can't rule out maybe a couple of isolated showers north of Interstate 40. But as we get into the 3 o'clock hour, from noon to 3 to 7, it's really going to be isolated in nature, but you can see that moisture kind of wrapping in and the storms firing north of Interstate 40, where we have the greatest extent for heavy rainfall. And like I said, with the water-loaded atmosphere, expect tropical-like downpours with any of the storms that do fire up. And that's going to be a concern, and that's why we have damaging wind, and also flooding and flash flooding is going to be the main risk. Tornadoes and hail, not on the table for the day today. It's just not the way the atmosphere is conducive to produce any of that stuff. Temperatures this morning, extremely warm. We're running warmer. We're in the low, mid, upper 70s, which is warmer than what we had yesterday. And you're going to feel every single bit of that because those dew points are in the low 70s for the most part. So as we heat up the atmosphere, we're going to warm into the low 90s. Those dew points in the 70s are going to lead to heat index values pushing close to 100 degrees once again here this afternoon. And as you head home from work, watch out for a couple of isolated strong to severe thunderstorms. 90 degrees, though. It's hot. 86 by 8 and down to 82 degrees by 10 o'clock here tonight. So not much of a pattern change, but I do think that we have a little bit better coverage of rainfall as we head through the day on Friday, as we have some more energy and the possibility of a complex of storms to dive their way into East Tennessee, which will likely bring us better coverage of rainfall and maybe even another risk for some damaging winds and, again, locally heavy rainfall. Any of these storms that fire from now through the weekend are going to produce tropical-like downpours. Heat index values climb. We may actually have a heat advisory next Tuesday. Even the National Weather Service is talking about the fact that we could be pushing close to 105 for a heat index value, which puts us at heat advisory criteria. Here's some good news. The tropics, we've been downgraded to a 30% chance of it becoming our next named storm. Likely not the case, but it is bringing in some heavy rainfall across parts of Louisiana. That moisture swings into our area, which was going to help to produce better coverage of rainfall. So I know if you haven't been seeing a lot of rainfall recently, I've been doing the Witcher weather dance. Hopefully you've been doing it as well. I don't even know what that dance looks like, but we are. And so keep that in mind as this moisture moves on in. So we're going to increase our chances for rain. Temperatures will increase as we get into next week as another ridge continues to build and strengthen. Low temperatures will be in the 70s. Welcome to the dog days of summer, but hopefully you get a little bit of rain before the weekend is over. I know we don't want the rain over the weekend, but it's probably going to happen. Don't forget to scan the QR code on the bottom right-hand side of the screen. Download the East Tennessee Weather app. It's 100% free. You can get lightning push notifications, storms approaching, watches and warnings from the National Weather Service, life-saving watches and warnings from the National Weather Service, and it's 100% free. Have a great day. We'll see you back here throughout the day, right here on East Tennessee Weather.